Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Head-Banging Life, gbhbl.com for short, and it's 10 things. 10 things we love about the Dead Space Trilogy. We're not talking about the wider world of Dead Space. We're not talking about the small games here and there. We're talking about Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. Great horror games. I know I paused there because of the third game being not so good as the other two. But overall, it's a great franchise, and it's sad that it's basically dead these days. You played all three?
Yep, I have, yeah.
Oh, and you can get us started.
Okay, well, we're doing the likes first, yeah?
Yep, the love. 10 things we love.
Okay, well, it's got really obvious one is the story.
Yep.
I think the story is it's one of the best storylines I've seen in a game in a long time.
Are you talking about one specific game or across all three?
I think across all three, even number 3, which is obviously a disappointing one, but I think across all 3, it just makes a lot of sense and it's very clever.
Yeah. I mean, I back up what you say. I haven't actually got story specific, but I back up what you're saying. Across 3 games, you know, it's a pretty complete story that ends in spectacular fashion, and that's kind of fun, you know. And I think you're right. I think the whole religious aspect, the unitology, mixed with the sort of fish out of water character with Isaac, and him getting tied up into that. I think it's an interesting story. I like it a lot too. Yeah. My first one, though, is specific to the first game, and it's the horror of the first game. Now, there are elements of horror in the second game and not so much in the third game. But when you think of the first game, you think, oh, that's a horror game. That is low ammo, that's tense, that's dark, that's monsters, that's jump scares. The horror of the first game, yeah, bang on.
Everybody relax.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Not sure. What the hell?
I don't know. Something's in the room with us. Come on. Got it!
Isaac, get the hell out of there!
The door's unlocked! Run! Run, Isaac! Get the hell out of there!
Yeah, I've got that one obviously, but yeah, I mean, this is probably I've seen a lot of horror movies and played a lot of horror games, but this is the first game which has made me like, I hate playing it by myself in a dark room because it's like the hair that's standing up. It's really clever and freaky with the weird noises and sounds. But yeah, I've got that one. So
that's fine. Double up. I want to add one more thing with the horror and see if you agree with me. So I'm not one of those who think Resident Evil was a scary game. I get it was a horror game, but didn't scare me. The one that kind of left chills on me was always Silent Hill more than anything else. And I see Dead Space on par with Silent Hill.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yes.
My next one then is focusing on the second game specifically, and it's the action of the second game. I think they took what they did in Dead Space 1 and went, okay, well, we've got to ramp it up because it's a sequel. And I think the second game has a ton more fun, exciting variety in the action sequences. Yeah.
See, we're going to double up a lot here.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, again, the action. I think the action across 1 and 2. Number 3, not so much, but 1 and 2. I mean, yeah, just so much.
The reason why I didn't include number 1 is because I found number 1 to be very much action, move along, action, move along. Whereas number 2, it felt like it was constantly there. The threat was constantly there. You would always, like, it was behind you and you were always just trying to keep ahead of it, you know? I thought that was cool. Oh, we double up again, so we can probably double up in this one, but necromorphs. The design of the monsters, man. And there are some shoddy ones later on, some that aren't so spectacular, but the basic necromorph design, you're talking about the limbs coming out, the stretched out faces, that, you know, running at you, speed, those things. Plus some of the other ones as well, the baby with the tentacles, the monster that falls apart and its head and its arms will attack you separately. To the ones, I don't even remember them. They're very easy to kill because they've got an arm that's exploding. If you blow it up, it'll blow. Fuck those dudes.
Yeah. It's like bloody, I think like glowing ball or
that's
thing.
right. And they hit you with it, it'll do some serious damage. But yeah, monsters, the designs.
Yep, I've got that one.
Yeah, it's spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, double up again then. Okay, the twist in the first game. Now we all know it. So if you don't, spoilers. Nicole is dead. Been dead all along. And let's be honest, we all played it. We didn't see it coming. We didn't see that coming at all. And it is a great twist. And you're like, oh, that fucking sucks. Yeah.
Yep. I surprisingly, I didn't actually have that one.
Cool.
So I've got the variety of weapons and ability. You know, I mean, so there's so many. I mean, it's what, like 7 or 8 different weapons you can use, something like that. Plus, obviously, with the upgrades and then the power nodes, and obviously all the abilities too. You know, I think it's quite a big variety of and different ways to kill the necromorphs.
Yeah, I agree. And then obviously Dead Space 3 introduced the combination of weapons, didn't it? Where you could combine 2 together, which was a nice touch. Yeah, I haven't got weapons on this list. I actually have weapons on the other list, but I'll explain why when we get to that video. Again, focusing on a specific game, Dead Space 2. There is one segment I think is probably one of the most horrifying parts of that game, the horror. And it's the school section. The school section, where you go into the nursery rooms in the school, and it's like monsters in there as well, school children monsters. The first time you run into those very small screaming ones that come en masse. You go to the gym, you go for like a nursery, and there's nursery rhyme playing. It's the one where you're like, oh yeah, kids would be affected by this as well. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah. I got that one. I've gone for another one, which is the zero gravity zones.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not so much jumping around the room one, but the one where you're actually outside the ship and you can look into space. I think it's just so beautiful.
It is fun. We don't get to do that much. And you are right. There's not loads of it, but there are moments where you go through a part of a ripped out, like Dead Space 1, a ripped out ship, and it's like, oh, that's space, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree. I don't have it. Again, focusing on a specific game, Dead Space 2. And later in that game, you make a very unfortunate return to the Ishimura. And that is a very, very tense moment because you're like, oh, I don't want to go back in that fucking ship, you know? And Isaac sells as well. He's like, you know, last time I was here, things didn't go so well. Like, that's the fucking understatement. Yeah, I love that.
No, I didn't have that one. I think I might have already said it, I'm not sure, but I've gone for the graphics. Because I mean, again, I'm specifically there's again, it's the first one, but it's the moon. From again, it's zero gravity in the moon. Obviously, where obviously you jump onto the moon to plant the marker or the beacon.
You mean the asteroid?
Yeah, the asteroid. Sorry, yeah. We plant the bloody thing on the. I think that there just. I mean, it's hard to explain, but literally the graphics are just fantastic, you know. And
visually, it is a stunning game. And I'll give props to the other games as well. In fact, I'll tie it into mine in a bit as well. I think Dead Space 2 looks better. The whole city aspect, when you go up high and you see the like sprawling mass of that city as well in space, I think that's a really awesome stuff. Plus, that Dead Space 2 has that incredible segment where you're getting closer to the marker that's activating, and you've got like beams of light shooting up. That looks fucking cool as hell. But the one I'm going to tie it into is Dead Space 3. I'm going to talk positive about Dead Space 3, and it's the location. By this point, the third game, they really needed to do something different. and they went for it. They were like, yep, all right, planet, ice. And while, all right, that ain't that clever, it meant it felt very different. How you interacted with the environment, how it made the place feel, how empty and dark and cold it felt. I think that's worthy of praise.
Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, number three got much praise. So
we got to get that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got. Okay, so I've got the character. So Isaac as a character.
Yep.
So his development from going through 1, 2, and obviously his development is, obviously from number 1 he doesn't speak at all.
That's right.
I can't. I mean, does he say any words at all?
No, in number 1 he doesn't speak.
Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah, that's all. And then obviously his character development going forward.
They make him a person, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sticking with the third game.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. If you needed to end Dead Space in style, what a way. I'm going to fight a living moon. A living fucking moon. All right, let's do this. That's my favorite boss in the Dead Space trilogy. Fighting a living fucking moon. Come on, man. That is just like, all right then.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love it.
I've got this one on both my lists, but I like it and I don't like it. But it's the power nodes.
Yep.
The
upgrade.
I like it. I like it because it's upgrading. But then obviously, it's still my other list too.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not that hot on it either, to be honest. I'm like, it's there, it's a thing, just to kind of flesh the game out more, really, than anything else. I don't care either way I think about it. Yeah, it isn't. Yeah. Sticking with Dead Space 3, did you ever play it co-op?
No.
I did. I played it with a friend many, many, many years ago. Co-op. And obviously, if you play co-op, the other player takes on the role of John Carver. We'll get to John Carver in a different list. One of the more impressive things, and this was always blew me away. They both had problems mentally, Isaac and John. In it, if you play it co-op, you will have different visions. And I will always remember being with my co-op partner, and we're in a lift, and I was like, oh my God, there's blood dripping through the walls of the lift. And he went, no, there isn't. He went, yeah, there fucking is. He went, no, there isn't. And I was like, there's fucking blood everywhere. And he's like, there's nothing in the lift.
Huh? What? No. Isaac, are you seeing this?
We see what we want to, John.
What? What are you talking about? Isaac!
They do that, yeah. They would have different visions for different players.
Pretty cool, as.
Like, if you play John Carver has visions of his dead child. I remember there's a point, I think it was a pushchair rolls across the room. And I was like, the fucking pushchair just moved. What pushchair? How cool is that?
That is really cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. I've got
last one?
I've got one left. And mine is I mean, it sort of ties into the horror aspect, but it's more the suspense and the music. No, literally, because I mean, across all three games, it fits in perfectly with the scene and the horror aspect, and also all the noises and the cracklings and all around it.
Oh yeah, I agree. Music's great. Sound effects are amazing. The noise Necromorph makes, just the sound sometimes of the ship creaking in the first one, to like going into a shopping district of the second one and being bodies everywhere, but you still got those advertisements playing. To Dead Space 3 being outside and that howling wind, stuff like that's great. Absolutely brilliant stuff. My last one, I'm going to focus on a specific segment, and I think it might be one of my all-time favorite Dead Space segments, and it's from Dead Space 2, and it's the start. It's the very start when Isaac is being released from his bonds and he doesn't know what's going on. You're disorientated. He's in a straitjacket and the guy that's rescuing him gets infected by a necromorph immediately. And you have to run through halls as the shit is going insane around you. Necromorphs, people are dying, and you're in a fucking straitjacket.
Listen, you're in terrible, terrible danger.
Incredible. That is such a that is dropping you in the game and going, crack on, mate. Because you can die. It's not like you can't die. It's not like you can just, you only have to hold forward, because you can go a wrong direction and run into one of the necromorphs. You can still die in that segment. So it's not like it's scripted or a movie or a quick time event.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Oh, right. All right. Where do I go? You know? Yeah, I love that. It's one of my favorite segments. Thing is, there are loads. This series, as we said at the start, overall leans way towards number quality more than anything else. Yeah, we've got our dislikes of the third game. I think number 2 has a few issues as well. And number 1 does as well, you know, being quite static in its way. But overall, the quality of these games speak volumes. I think in 10 things each there, we've covered the majority of what makes these games great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could have easily said a few more. I didn't even get onto the whole outfit and the uniform that he wears.
Of course.
It's brilliant. And the whole health bar thing is really cool.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that's come from it, from the movies to some of the other mini games and aspects like that. But you let us know what you love about the Dead Space trilogy in the comments.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?